Good evening, I'm Bill Maher, and this being late Friday night, I'll bet a lot of you watching me right now are fried. Yeah. I don't know. And if you watched the news this week, you saw other people who were fried getting busted. Yes, it's been a busy season for drug busts. A once mighty baseball star stepping out from chemotherapy for a little booger sugar. A brilliant television writer found to be in possession of mushrooms. Robert Downey Jr. taking, well, I don't have all night. Yeah. Yeah, Robert Downey Jr., he was caught once with speed and coke, and when you're using cocaine to come down, that is a problem. Of course, any discussion of cocaine would not be complete without noting that if it gave you an erection instead of taking one away, not only would it be legal, but Bob Dole would be doing commercials for it. And therein lies our moral dilemma. People with certain drug habits like alcoholism, smoking, or overeating get to see a doctor if their problem overtakes them. Others get a cop and a judge. Now, do I think it's smart to snort cocaine? No, I don't. I think it's a crappy, stepped-on, teasing stink of a high, and I don't know why anyone does it. If you want to be edgy and nervous, go to work. But that's me. And facts are facts. And the fact is that legal drugs, liquor, cigarettes, and Twinkies, kill many, many times the number of people killed by the illegal drugs. So why do the Robert Downey Jr.'s and Darryl Strawberries of the world have to worry about facing a jail cell while others get a doctor? Where is the compassionate part of conservatism for your fellow drug addicts, America? Where is the conservatism at all in this debate? Wasn't it the godfather of conservatism who said extremism in the defense of liberty is no vice? What could be a more basic component of liberty than what goes on in your own mind? Everyone in America is self-medicating their mood every day with something, be it nicotine or caffeine or alcohol or sugar or Prozac or Ritalin. Or that stuff they sell in the TV ad where the black guy is tap dancing on a melting clock. They don't even tell you what that stuff is, but they're right, I want it. But that's okay. That's okay to advertise on television and create a demand for heavy prescription mood-altering drugs. It's okay for pharmaceutical companies to take doctors on all-expense-paid resort vacations and get them drunk and get them laid, and when they go back to the office on Monday, suddenly all their patients need OxyContin. A powerful morphine-like narcotic meant to be used only by those in severe physical pain and, of course, celebrities. In conclusion, I would just like to ask our new drug czar, and thank God we have one, or there'd be nobody to make the porn czar look hip. But, Mr. Czar, how can we, as a society, justify demonizing some mood-altering substances while protecting and profiting from others? Of course, I realize that's the kind of challenging question you'll just sweep under the national rug, but when you do, don't look too closely. You might find everybody else's stash in there.
Ladies and gentlemen, the star of Politically Incorrect, Bill Maher.
Okay, let's meet our panel. He is the leader of the moral majority and the founder of Liberty University, Mr. Jerry Falwell, the Reverend. How are you, Jerry? Good to see you again, Reverend. Thank you for coming. She is the newly crowned Miss Black USA and a spokesperson for the abstinence group Project Reality, Lisa Miree. Lisa. Hey, wow, you wore your sash. Thank you. How you doing? Please sit down. She's not a doctor, but she plays one on cable. The show is Lifetime's Strong Medicine, Sundays at 8, and she is Rosa Blasi. Rosa. Hey, you. Hello. We got you here.
I'm so glad to be here.
Thank you. And he is a master of decorum as the master of ceremonies on his very own thought-provoking talk show, the Honorable former Mayor of Cincinnati, Jerry Springer is over here. Jerry. Now, what does that say about our society that Jerry Springer gets a bigger reaction than Jerry Falwell? I've had a... We're obviously...
Your program is something like the old-time gospel hour, isn't it?
Exactly. That's it.
Yeah. That's right. He invites the sinners on.
After our show, you need religion.
Okay. Now, you heard what I just said about drugs, Robert Downey Jr. I know this guy has a drug problem. I'm not, as I said, condoning what he does. I don't think it's a good drug. But I wonder why, in a country that's supposed to be free, that a guy is walking down an alley, as he was the other night, did not have drugs on him, and somehow the cops, they don't recognize him.
Right.
But they arrest him because he's acting a little weird. Is that the country we live in, where you get arrested for acting a little weird?
Well, I think, you know, unfortunately, because he is literally my favorite actor, and I think the most talented male actor we have alive. I think he's like now the international symbol for looking for that. So it doesn't surprise me that he was arrested. He's kind of like, you know, you have a stop sign that's red and a hexagon, and you have Robert Downey Jr.'s face. That's what you're gonna. Unfortunately, that's what it's come to with just that.
I think if we could start America over right now, perhaps we would be more rational in deciding what's legal and what's not. And maybe society would then say, okay, if we're starting from scratch, maybe saying marijuana, you know,
But you know, Jerry, we wouldn't even have to start up. We'd only have to go back to 1914. Up until then, all drugs were legal.
Okay.
And the Narcotic Act, the Harrison Narcotic Act of 1914 was the first drug law. And it was hotly debated because at that point in our history, where freedom was still ringing, people very much didn't think that you should be able to prescribe any drug being put into your body. People thought, hey, we're a free country. People do what they want.
But people's actions do affect other people. Yes, it's your body, and you may do this for your own enjoyment. But what happens when your brain is so fried, when it's so dependent?
We should say no to alcohol.
But that's your brain.
It can affect. That's your brain.
No, you're responsible for yourself, but you have a responsibility to those around you as well. You can be driving down the street and really impaired, and then kill somebody. It doesn't anger you until it happens to you.
But are we going to say no to alcohol?
Well, I mean, everything should be within modification.
Go back to
Private modification.
I mean, your argument is hollow because we don't arrest people for crimes they might commit.
No, it's not hollow. No, and it's very
rational. But then, as Jerry says, you'd arrest people for just taking a drink.
No.
Well, why not?
Alcohol is legal in our society.
We're asking why. We're asking why that's legal and these drugs aren't, if they both might cause you to commit a crime.
Well, it can have
and the truth is, when you're drinking and driving, you kill people.
So can alcohol.
You know,
there's no good answer. You know, honey, I'm not trying to pin you.
We want to live in a community where everybody's all fried, where everybody's all drugged out.
We already do live in that community. It's called America.
Where they can't function.
Did you hear what I just said?
But why do we need these things?
The question is, why are some drugs...
Okay, and why are some not? Oh, sorry.
There are inequities, no question about that. And I'm not going to defend the legal system in this country. But I'm going to say that if we don't symbolically say to the culture, and particularly to the kids, that certain things are wrong and should not be done, and there's a penalty if you do, then we're actually sanctioning that and encouraging it. We have for 42 years. We should not curse something we don't spend money to work with. We've operated an institution, our ministry has, for alcohol and drug-addicted men. They come free. They stay with us 60 days, no charge whatever. And about 50% of all the men who've come through in 42 years have never touched drugs or alcohol again. We present the gospel of Christ to them, win them to Jesus as Lord, and they stop it.
The message of inconsistency and hypocrisy, isn't that just as much an awful message to send to the kids?
Well, there's no question there's hypocrisy in the culture. There's
and that's why the kids aren't paying attention. But that's why the kids don't pay attention and don't believe us. Because the kids know that while we're giving the speech about don't have marijuana, they know very well that we're drinking, that we're smoking cigarettes, that there are pills all around the house.
Not everybody does that. Not everybody does that.
In every home there's coffee. In every home there's some. There's sugar.
No, but the people who do it, and they are legion, are not put into jail for it.
I think alcohol is a lot more dangerous, personally, than marijuana.
Hey, you know what?
That's not just lifestyle. That's not just lifestyle. That's dangerous.
Lisa, I say to parents, we have 22,000 members in our church, and I say,
talk to the non-believers.
Don't say.
Talk to the heathen. She's already in the tent, Reverend. Preach to me.
Bill, okay. I say to the dads and moms,
preach to him.
Don't say no. Don't tell the kids just say no to drugs. If you've got booze in the refrigerator, I mean, be consistent. Don't be hooked on drugs of any kind.
It in the refrigerator.
You're right. The alcohol causes more imprisonment, more poverty, more crime, more deaths than any.
And so does cigarettes.
People are going on 7-Eleven, sprees to buy a dime bag.
Well, that's why we need to take a stand to our children and live by example and let them know that they can take pride in abstention. It is a strong person who has the ability to abstain from alcohol use, drug use,
The issue is why are we arresting these people for some drugs while other people go scot-free for
I'm
other
in favor
drugs?
of arresting all of them.
Okay, that's an honest answer. We have to take a break. We'll be right back. Drugs, but there's also a war on sex, I think, in America. I think there's both. Thank you, one person. And I know you're part of that because you're part of an abstinence program. I have had people on the show before who have proclaimed their belief in abstinence, but usually it's teen abstinence. You believe in abstinence right up until...
Certainly, all unmarried persons. If you're divorced,
all unmarried persons.
All unmarried persons. And this is a message that everyone needs to get involved with because it affects everyone. It can be a taxpayer issue. It's proven fact that when females or males have children outside of marriage, they can fall into the welfare system if they're not financially stable. It can be a population
You're
issue.
big on if people might do stuff.
Yeah, and it does happen.
Have you had sex?
No, I am a virgin and proud of it.
How can
I can talk about it. I can tell you right now that I am worth the wait. Some things are worth waiting for.
Wait, she's sitting next to me.
You're saying sex is immoral.
No, I'm not saying sex is immoral. Sex is immoral if it's outside of marriage.
Why?
Because
what is inherently immoral about the old bouncy?
It was created for procreation and to unite the family, the mother and the husband within the confines of marriage.
How do you know that?
I'm a religious person. I do read the Bible, and that's my
Even the Bible doesn't say that.
Oh, yes, the Bible does.
Thank you. But even if you're not a religious person, because a lot of people would like to not hear the abstinence message because they think it's so morally driven, but it's a health issue. I mean, there are thousands of diseases that people contract every single day.
And there are thousands of diseases if you're responsible that you don't have to worry about. But sex isn't moral when you're talking about adultery.
To prevent you from sexually transmitted diseases. They only were created to reduce the risk of pregnancy. But you know what?
If you want to be completely safe, just don't leave your house.
I'm not saying
there's a million ways you can die.
I'm not saying that.
No. I believe personally, just me, adultery is immoral. That's where it becomes bad behavior. Sex, I mean, there's a... Your devil button was created for a reason.
No, your devil button.
I mean, there's a reason.
Your devil button.
Tuesday night, I was on another program on another network.
I saw it.
With
Jocelyn
Elders. And she is certifiably nuts,
And so you told her that.
And
I love her.
I thought you would. And she made the statement that we ought to teach the kids in elementary school how to masturbate, how to use condoms. And I said,
they need teaching.
I said,
and I didn't need any teaching, Jerry.
To Dr. Elders, that's as ridiculous as selling cookbooks at a fat farm. You're not going to reduce pregnancy or reduce sex by teaching kids that. They know already more than you do. The idea is to teach them don't do it, not save sex
don't
for
even
marriage.
Masturbate?
Not save sex, but save sex for marriage.
Why?
And she is right.
Where in the Bible, not that I even believe the Bible, but where in the Bible...
But it's not just a biblical issue. It's a health issue.
But, honey, everything is a health issue if you're worried enough.
The makeup we're wearing it's made of insects. I mean, yeah, you're exactly right.
Okay. They're separate issues. One is there's the issue of sex, and then there's the issue of morality. Sex is an activity. It can be moral, it can be immoral. Sex by itself is not immoral. It's just like business can be more. You can be a moral businessman, you can be an immoral businessman. You know, my guess is Adolf Hitler never cheated.
I think
but that doesn't make it moral.
I think he did. Eva Braun was not married to him. But I would...
a TV show can be moral.
My wife and I have been married 43 years.
Sex doesn't make them immoral.
I mean, Mason and I have been married 43 years. We're engaged 6 years while I was going through college. And we have now 3 children, 8 grandchildren. And we can look at each other and say, you're the only one ever.
But
and
that's
I'm so thankful to be able to
that's you. Why does everyone have to act like you? That's
I'm not saying everybody...
You were asking for some biblical...
by example.
Not only does it say that thou shalt not commit adultery in the Bible, but it also says that we are to keep the marriage bed holy. That is, all sex is between a man and a woman legally married, which means all sex outside that kind of marriage bond, be it heterosexual or homosexual, is forbidden by Scripture. And as a Christian who believes the Bible is the Word of God...
You're talking about the most hypocritical thing there is, and that's religion.
As far as you know.
No, I'll tell you why. First of all, I'm going to be honest with you. I have a difficult time sitting next to somebody who has a problem with Tinky Winky. I just do.
First of all, I've never seen Tinky Winky. That was a misquote. But at the same time, I have no problem sitting beside you, because one of these days, and I'm going to pray this in, you'll receive the Christ of the Bible as your Savior, and you'll be agreeing with this girl right over here.
Okay, can I tell you? I have to say, it's not about self-control and self-discipline.
Yes, it is.
What you're talking about when you're saying sex is immoral because of religion is completely hypocritical. It's not.
If I were not religious, I would still want to be able to sit here and say, after 43 years of marriage to my wife, you're the only one ever.
Religion, for example, if you believe, and even if you don't, like the message of Jesus is supposed to be about just love. It's not supposed to be about judgment. He hung out with whores and foot massages and washed each other's feet. It was like a night at the Playboy Mansion.
And he told them how to change.
No, he didn't tell them how to change. He said, I accept you and I accept love.
If this were a 2-hour program, I would quote you every verse that Jesus
and I would kill myself. I would say, we don't want that. We don't want that.
No. But Reverend...
It's about acceptance. It's not about this is the right way. Put it in a little...
She's Spanish. She knows about Jesus.
You are a 28-year superstar, and you are a something else superstar. And both of you would be better superstars if you believe what Lisa is saying.
I believe I have to take a commercial. That's where my religion is. We just have a little time, but I just wanted to make the point that the suppression of sex really comes from the suppression of women. Women wanted to be put down by the church fathers. That's why we have this terrible opprobrium against sex. It's not a...
No, men can say no to sex, too. It's not just a female issue. Males can be very macho and say, I'm a strong man, so I'm going to wait.
If you don't want to have sex, do what women through all my years have always said to me when I was single, they said no.
You're saying that prostitutes are the freest women in the world just because they have sex with everybody?
You can say no.
Does not equate my
Let me say something. You can say no if you want, and that's great. And you believe what you want to believe. Just don't impose it on other people that may have different values.
We're giving you another option.
But somebody once said, because we're here with a man of God, and I know you believe in God, and God created me, and God created this sexual inclination that we have. So somebody once said, and I would agree with it, that celibacy is the weirdest perversion of all. It is the thing.
No, it's great. Look, I must share a little snippet of this poem I wrote called
I would like you to, but I have to take a commercial. I'm sorry, we don't have time for poems.